Every day we see a new video, new cheat code about how to do SEO in 2025, and it's because it's changing so fast. So we want to share our playbook, what we've seen actually work when the goal is to rank #1 for valuable keywords via SEO in 2025. We have a great client based in Washington State, personal injury firm that's growing like wildfire. Before they were using FirmPilot, they worked with another agency that were showing them these charts of traffic going up and to the right, but leads, cases not going up and to the right, what we call vanity traffic. Before we worked with them, they were maybe getting a couple of leads from organic per month. But once they ranked top 5 for just a dozen of high converting keywords, truck accident leads and cases took off. They did this by ranking atop of Google for keywords that actually matter. High conversion intent keywords, not the vanity ones. What actually changed? We stopped writing content for attorneys. We began writing content for their readers, people dealing with and in the emotional state of an accident. Second, we stopped with the generic junk backleads that everyone else gets. Anyone can get backlinks. Quantity doesn't matter. Maybe in the early 2000s, if you just got some links, wrote some content, you would win. It's so competitive and saturated now, that doesn't work anymore. And lastly, we created a strategy that was AI forward thinking. And I'm gonna show you the exact steps they took, the steps that actually work in 2025. Whether you're starting from scratch as a new firm or an older firm that's just kicking off your digital marketing, and a strategy that doesn't just bleed money and light it on fire. Quick intro, I'm Jake Soffer, founder of FirmPilot, and we use data to figure out what Google actually wants to see and rewards in 2025. And underneath the surface, it's content that helps readers. That's the content that is showing up in ChatGPT and Gemini, Claude, Google, etc. The difference is we don't assume at FirmPilot that we can read the minds of thousands of injury client prospects, divorce, DUI, estate planning clients. The difference is our strategy is different today than it was last quarter. And I'll bet a whole lot of money it's gonna be different again in another 2, 3, or 4 months because we followed the data. So let's get into what actually changed in Google in 2025. Google's August 2024 update was essentially a correction. It favored genuine expertise over big budget content forms, just more and more different blog posts every 5 minutes. You can only write so many pieces of content about what color a stop sign is. What is a stop sign? Can you get hurt if you drive through a stop sign? We're seeing smaller firms that are creating this genuine, deep expert level content that gives unique perspective being rewarded. And it's outranking these massive content forums and directories like a FindLaw or billion-dollar firms that have thousands of pages indexed by Google. Quality beats quantity more than ever. And don't confuse quality with legal jargon and how beautiful the website looks. Here's the key. User experience is now one of the #1 ranking factors, not just keywords. Think about how your readers read. They want help, and think about how they think. They want the story arc or a sequential organization to what they're reading. Help me through this traumatic accident I'm going through. They don't read looking for keyword, 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 keyword. The reason that used to be done is people trying to manipulate and just do SEO for the sake of SEO, not helping a reader. And with Google's smarter transformer models like BERT, they aren't limited by technology that can only just process keyword, keyword, keyword. It can build conceptual understanding of the content, embed it, and actually look at how valuable, how helpful, how relevant is content on law firm website X versus Y versus Z and hundreds of others to the query of the person who needs legal help right now. And if we look at that data, we can understand what Google understands as being helpful. And that is a huge advantage. Second thing we do with our clients is build a content authority framework. Pick one practice area to start with and absolutely dominate it. We're not saying this is forever, but start somewhere. The person that tries to be the Swiss Army knife, do everything, you're a master of none. This is where most firms mess up. They try to sell every legal service to everyone. Instead, create the most comprehensive resources Google has ever seen to your specific niche. Be that expert that Google ChatGPT have a no-duh moment to suggest you when someone needs legal help. Build a plethora of content that is related to each other. You blog this week doesn't mean just blog next week or the next month about something totally random. Build a feed of content that is connected. Connect the dots between your content. Use experience-driven content. This is your competitive advantage. Share real case insights. You can make them anonymous, but giving this unique perspective shows this isn't just ChatGPT creating content. It talks about your firm, your services, what you offer, why you are an authority. Include settlement ranges. What did a case settle for? How long did it take? What was the situation you were dealing with? The more you can give, the more you're standing out from thousands of firms that are talking about the same practice area. You are the expert because you are providing more detail, unique perspective to readers that helps them understand what it's going to be like to work for you. That's how you build your expert authority framework. Third, you need to master technical SEO. There's just no way around it. And maybe not you. You're an attorney, you're busy in the court, but someone at your firm, someone on your team needs to be that technical SEO guru. You're just not going to compete without it. Core web vital optimization is key. Google can only give so many resources to every website, meaning it has to crawl billions of pages every single day. That is a lot of electricity, it's a lot of juice, it's a lot of resources. Make it easy for their crawlers. Some quick tips: if you aren't the technical SEO person at your company, your firm, write this down, give this to them as action items. Your LCP, your largest contentful paint, under 2.5 seconds. How fast your main content on your homepage loads, that's a must. There is no negotiation there. I know so many times you want that big, beautiful video or slider. That's not going to get you the leads. Having a easy to navigate, fast loading website, especially on mobile, that little thing in your pocket, that iPhone, that Android phone, is a lot less powerful than a computer. And that's where majority of your traffic is from. So you need to think about that. That page needs to load like this. Second, first input delay, under 100 milliseconds. That's how quickly your site responds to clicks. Nobody goes to a website, clicks, wants to see that spinning circle. How many times have you seen that and you just X out? Google doesn't want that experience being given to Googlers. So forget people leaving your site. They won't even ever see it because it'll get moved down. Third, your cumulative layout shift, under 0.1. How much your page jumps around while loading. You want something stable, you want something strong. All this is available in free tools. You can use Google PageSpeed Insights to test your site, and your competitors too. Throw theirs in, see how you benchmark. Because there isn't a magic number you need to be. It's all relative. That number 1 spot, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5th spot, the spots that get clicks for high value keywords, they're never empty. It's not blank, uninhabited real estate. You have to unseat somebody. Moving on from just speed and numbers in technical SEO, schema markup. Tell the machines, Google's crawlers, ChatGPTs, Gemini's, Claude's, what they're looking at. Make their life easier and you will be rewarded. They have to crawl billions of pages. It's so easy for 2-3 pages to look the same, but be completely different. The easier you make it to do their job, the nicer they're going to be to you. Use markup schema. One of the best ones is the FAQ schema for frequently asked questions. This can get you featured snippets, AI overviews, different digital real estate with super high click-through rates that are getting high value leads to find you. Fourth, let's talk about local SEO strategy. When you think of companies like Nike and TaylorMade golf clubs, they can sell to anyone, anywhere. And maybe your firm is national, but Google indexes and categorizes law firms as local service businesses. Think veterinarian, dermatologist, pest control, landscaper, HVAC. Focus on local. So many of your clients want someone near them. Injury attorney near me, divorce attorney in New York. Those geo modifiers create hyper local content. Write content that talks about the courthouses you've actually been at and you serve. Target neighborhood specific legal issues, relevant news, even reference local ordinances and regulations that actually affect your clients. It shows that you don't just know the law, you're not just an expert, but you're an expert in that geo-fenced area of the thousands of people every day Googling for legal help. A huge component of local SEO is a well-optimized Google business profile. It doesn't need to be just created and set up once. It needs to be vibrant and active. Post weekly updates, just as important as posting to your Facebook and Instagram social accounts. Post updates in your Google business profile. Be active. Share client success stories and wins, or even if you're writing articles, just reformat them and repurpose. If they're rich, good content, share them on Google business profile. Lastly, make sure to reply to every review. Even if it's bad, reply. It shows that you're active on this Google business profile. It shows that you're human beings because you're not just a business, you are people helping people, especially in legal services. Fifth, content that actually converts. Yes, you need the informational content that gives well-detailed, organized information about how to handle a situation, but you also need content that's gonna make someone go, I'm calling this firm, or I'm submitting that contact form, or the content that is concise, brief, and can be recommended in a smaller user experience. The days of thinking just winning by writing 2,000 plus word content is over. Think about when you use ChatGPT. You get that small blurb. You want content that those tools know it can grab and insert there. And 2,000 words, over exaggerated ways to describe a situation, that's not fitting there. Answer first content is what we call it. Meaning, if you are writing an article, even if it is 2,000 words, less great, but if it is 2,000, 3,000, a 5,000 word guide, whatever it may be, every time there's a new section or a question, the first sentence should answer that question. When you ask ChatGPT a question, how do you make a pizza? How do you bake a cake? Whatever it may be, does it start with a whole on and on and on about the history of pizza and the history of cake? No. Clickbait, old school SEO content does, and that stuff doesn't rank. That stuff doesn't get featured in ChatGPT. Answer the dang question and you will be rewarded. Huge way to get a little extra boost, rich content. Sit at your desk, record a quick 60-second video talking about the topic, put it on the article. Infographics, downloadable guides, stand out. Once you start creating all this content, you end up with this huge library. Have it work together. Don't just send out piece, single articles and pages thinking they're gonna perform on their own. Internal link building is crucial. Make your site easy to crawl for crawlers and show that you're an expert because you've all these connected pieces that help each other. They could all be about car accidents, but different nuances, or they could all be about uncontested divorce, but it's different steps of the process. They should be linked to each other, so it's easy for someone reading it to sequentially go from one idea to the next in a way that they're logically connected, and you will be rewarded for that. There are a lot of questions these days about, does link building still help? Absolutely. But it's no longer just how many links can I get? It is quality over quantity by far. Sure, more high quality links, does that help? Absolutely. But we need to be finding the right links. And there are a lot of ways to be strategic about this. It used to be get links with the highest domain authority and the most traffic. I want Forbes, I want the New York Times. Sure, but are they relevant? And are those the links that ChatGPT is actually sourcing information from when it's answering a query such as, who is the best injury attorney in Dallas, Texas? Maybe, maybe not. If you run those queries, you analyze the what's called chain of thought, meaning when you ask ChatGPT a question, it doesn't actually understand and answer that single question. It breaks it up into 20 questions to get to that answer. Logic. So ask for its chain of thought, such as prompting it, how did you come to that recommendation? How did you come to that answer? And it'll show you the sources. Boom. You now have a target list of high value links to go after. Lastly, track what actually matters. We can give you all the tips, all the tricks, but if it's working, you don't want to plateau and just hit a ceiling. You want to keep going. If it's not working, you need to pivot, and you need to pivot intelligently. Track leads and know where they're coming from. Do you know where most of your cases from? Do you know where your most profitable cases are coming from? Do you know where your most expensive cases are coming from? You can be leaner, smarter, and operate like a business if you have all this data. It's key. One of the biggest issues we see is this wall. It makes no sense, but between intake and marketing. If you knock that down and they talk, you can build a well-oiled machine. Instead of waiting 3, 4, 5 months to say to your marketing team, hey, we're getting terrible leads. If they're talking in real time, they can react in minutes. The last week, we got this many calls for this. We want more of this. Marketing react like that. Instead, marketing could see lead numbers going up, but if they're not being told, then they're marketing for the wrong ones. To do any of this, tracking infrastructure is key. Must have Google Analytics, must have Google Search Console, must have Google Tag Manager. You need all of those properly set up. Missing one of them or improper setup could be catastrophic. Do you want no data? Do you want bad data making you make a bad decision? No, you want the data that says, this is how I grow my firm. This is how I know how long it takes to close cases from different sources. What are the most valuable cases? The most profitable? Where are we getting them from? With that information, you're way smarter about, where do I put my ad spend? What kind of content should we write? It completely removes the guessing from marketing. When hundreds of other firms could be guessing, you could know exactly how to outpace them, how to outseat them. Overall, what's different about 2025 is it's not about gaming the system anymore. You can't manipulate, whether it's via human SEO people or AI systems. It's about creating genuinely helpful content and resources, creating digital real estate that is trusted on the web. Pick 2 or 3 of these strategies and go deep on them first. Don't try to do everything at once. That's how firms burn out and quit. But when you pay attention to these patterns and these trends, everything that's hidden in the data, rather than just following outdated SEO best practices and over beating a dead horse wondering why it's not working, you can win. And even if you don't win at first, you'll have the data to show you why you're not winning. So you can pivot and head in the right direction and not just repeat the same mistakes that waste budget. We built FirmPilot because most attorneys don't have time to do this. And on top of that, there's so many experts out there that some of them are fantastic, but a lot of them don't have the time to do this either. We need one consolidated, unified system that can automate all of this. Crunch thousands of data points in minutes, what would take a human months to do. And it's become invaluable for clients because competition is fierce and it's only getting worse. This means you need to be a first mover and you need to execute properly and build from there. If you want to see how we automate that entire research your market, analyze competitors, and go, you can see a free demo on our website, FirmPilot.com.